It doesn't really seem to be the environment we live in right now. Doesn't seem to be a realistic venue for change at this time. I really think we should focus on the avenues we have before us.
Yeah, and just to add something really quickly to that. One, I said this yesterday in our conversation, I believe at this point with Rokana, when you're voting for Joe Biden, you're not voting for, like who you want to marry. This isn't The Bachelor. You're not voting, it's not a talent contest or, it's not a personality contest. You're voting for the coalition he's going to bring into office. Like Lena Khan, for example, one of the best FTC chairs that we've had in a really long time. Other cabinet officials who are going to make change in ways that you don't really see immediately, but that are important structurally. Because when Republicans come in, they destroy, they gut, and it's much easier to destroy than it is to build back. And just to add to Vosh's point earlier, there are it's interesting for people that want to learn about politics. Polling, and I guess this is also Destiny's point too. The polling on issues in a vacuum doesn't necessarily matter because people can agree on things in polls, but there's a difference between what people agree on and what motivates them to vote. Like, for example, polling on stuff like trans issues, it's muddled, and sometimes, honestly, it's a little bit like the left is in the minority when you look at some of those polls. But we saw in the 2022 midterms that the people that ran on transphobia basically universally lost. Because while people may say in a poll, like, I don't really want, a trans person in my girls' track meet, right? Are they going to go out and vote on that? No. There's no evidence that's shown that. And so that's also why I don't even think it's a problem to back up trans people very vociferously, because I don't really think it has any electoral consequences, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and I think you all are bringing up some good points. Destiny, you brought up just how divided the country feels right now, and there are divisions that we all have been talking about on stage that are, within the current Democratic Party coalition and without. Republicans are setting a really good example right now of how divisions are on full display there. They're so divided they can't even govern among themselves right now. But the winners of electoral politics, I think, as you said, Destiny, are the ones who actually vote and are able to get a coherent group together that actually are willing to vote and actually do the outreach. And so, what is it that you are looking for in 2024 to make sure that you are directing your audiences in the way that is going to be productive for creating that coalition, creating that coherent group that's actually going to be the winners, as opposed to the divided losers?
I think it's important to understand at the end of the day what your goals are. If your goal is to just grow an audience or make a lot of money or, grow your clout online, that's one thing. If your goal is to effect some positive political change, that's another. And to accomplish that effective political change, you have to be willing to work with other people and to have alliances. You have to be able to look at a person who disagrees with you on an aspect of white supremacy and not just label them racist. You have to be able to look at somebody who might disagree with you about sisters and not just label them transphobic. You have to be able to look at people that have slightly differing political opinions with you and not write them off as being, normatively just as bad as the entire opposite end of the political spectrum. So, generally, I try my best, obviously. Nobody's perfect. Please just call me. But I try when I'm reviewing other people's content to, be aware of, hey, we may disagree on this, but we've got, this.
I hate that dumb bitch so fucking bad.
You're supposed to vote for, or I might not like this guy's opinion on these things, but we align with most things. I think that's probably been my biggest disappointing thing about most of the online political left, is you can take a group of people, and, we have OkCupid political profiles. I think we'd be 80% plus lined up on most of our positions, but we fight we're part of former Yugoslavian nations trying to genocide each other. It's absolutely insane how similar some of the political beliefs could be, especially compared to our opposites, and then how vitriolic and deep the fighting is. Although, to be fair, without getting too deep into it, there are reasons why. There are psychological reasons why it hurts so much to disagree with somebody who's closer to you than farther from you. One of many reasons being that the conservative walks up to you, conservative says you're a conservative insult against you. It doesn't really hurt because you don't really care what their opinion is of you. If you call me, this is being broadcast, I'm not in broadcast mode right now. There's a lot of bad things conservatives like to call you, okay? But at the end of the day, I don't really care what a conservative calls me. But if somebody on the left calls me racist or transphobic or whatever, these are things that in my mind, I don't view myself that way. A conservative insulting me because we're diametrically opposed to our beliefs is fine. I'll even laugh about it. I don't care. But somebody that's opposed happens to be kind of in a political alliance with me is saying that I'm completely different. Yeah, I think that those types of insults hurt people, and I think that's why the infighting happens so much on the left and the right. It does as well online.
Yeah, this is a table of proud woodcocks, okay? Can't take that from us. No, I think that it also speaks to the value of sort of multi-tiered organizations. It's pretty difficult, I think, for folks who interpersonally don't get along with each other to politically, work together, just for purely social reasons, It's a matter of willpower. Progressive victory makes it pretty easy for me to, for example, members of my audience at them. I know that other folks are going there who maybe don't like them or me or whatever, but at least from what I've heard from the folks at Progressive Victory, it don't matter. When they're actually canvassing, vote banking, whatever, they're united in purpose. It works out great. Now, obviously, left infighting, I mean, everyone's experienced it. If they've been in the left for any length of time, you see what it looks like, the vitriolic it can get. If you have participated in it to any extent, which I imagine a lot of us have, it can go so wrong so quickly. It's very bitter infighting and very purposeless too. Look, we can't fix people's brains, really. We can't socially correct everyone on the left magically, as nice as that would be. I think we can try to build ancillary spaces and communities, and we can try to shape our own communities to make them, not perfect on this, at the very least, conditionally productive. And conditional productivity, I'll tell you, that's a lot better than most live streamers and YouTubers can do. That's a high bar, all right, for that particular space. I strongly encourage and invite anyone who does political YouTubing or live streaming to give it a shot, to expand outside the bounds of their audience, to try to work with people with whom they don't necessarily agree. Not everyone, we can have standards or boundaries, but, we don't want to be inside because that's how we lose the big good.
I guess I'm struck by, I feel as if we really just don't matter that much. As YouTube personalities or Twitch personalities, I think it's just, we have to be vessels to get people politically organized. And at least how I feel is the guests that I have on my show. When we have on somebody who works in I don't know, like Astra Taylor, for example, we have on regularly with the Debt Collective. She is actively making change, working with the Biden administration to try to get student debt canceled, and that original cancellation that he did, that eventually the Supreme Court got overturned, that's a direct result of what they did, what the Debt Collective and Astra Taylor did. That's, I guess, what I view my role as, is using the fact that some people like to hear my voice or hear me talk or watch our show as a way to platform other people who are making active change in society, and getting those organizations, Progressive Victory as well, to a place where they have relative prominence, given the small audience that I have, the small impact that I can make on the world, and however long I am on this earth. That's what I see as the more productive way to conduct an online media leftist space.
I think, just as a quick comment, I feel like we do matter. I think we matter quite a bit. I think more than we give ourselves credit for. You look at somebody like Donald Trump. Donald Trump is a billionaire, one of the wealthiest people on the planet. He still wanted more attention. He wanted to be president. He does everything for attention. You look at somebody like Andrew Tate, who most likely ran a sex trafficking ring for years and years. And it wasn't enough to have the tens of millions of guys. He wanted to be a TikTok influencer. I think that at the end of the day, money buys power and influence, and people that have money eventually seek that influence. That's something that we found a way in the YouTube world to short circuit. We have that influence. And I think for as much as we care about people on the ground doing real work, so many of these people were killed. They had even 1/10 of the
oh my god, dog shit.
I think one of the biggest kind of gravest sins that we've made kind of in liberal or left-leaning media over the past few decades has probably been Jon Stewart religiously adhering to this idea that I'm not here to inform people, I'm not here to educate people, I just do a political funny show that happens after, Muppets that Craig calls on phones. He used to repeat that line so many times, and I used to think for so long, it's true, why do people take Jon Stewart seriously? He's just a comedian guy. Why are you so mad that he's not pressing politicians or being more
serious about his job. He's literally on Comedy Central. But then I look back and I think, how many millennials' sole source of political education came from The Daily Show? How many of you guys watched a lot of The Daily Show? I don't know what the age is. Okay. Like, it's as silly as it is, as much as I call it edutainment, it's really important. We shape a lot of people's lives. We shape a lot of people's minds. We aim a lot of them in certain political ways. I think it's important that, I agree that at the end of the day, like, we're just talkers. But I mean, like, dude, I'll read another analogy with wash your beer, but, you know, at the end of the day, like, talking is a really important thing. Like, you influence, you capture people's ears, hearts, minds, and you aim them in a certain political way. I think that to do that in a responsible and effective way is probably one of the most important things that anybody can do in the world, especially an influencer. Yeah, so I inspired your level of confidence, Destiny, truly. So,
Okay, babe.
the microphones you hold are important, and in Progressive Victory, we're taking people from the same audience that directed at us and mobilizing them for change, and it's been so great ride. So far, we have big plan to quickly for if you want to get involved, you can go to progress.win.
Holy shit. Your dog shit, kid. Oh my god.
Questions, and they want us to take audience questions. So we have audience questions that have been collected. Never mind. Okay, one more thing. Okay, before we get to
Man,
questions.
I hope he doesn't go hard
I just want to
speaker.
say one more time, thank you to Brianna Wu, who's sick right now, and is just basically assembled this panel you see before you, and has been such a moving force in organizing all the events that we're doing, and I'm so happy and proud to be working with her. I want to thank all the other influencers we have in the audience, and especially Kyla Turner for helping us put together and research these the questions that we asked these panelists today, and I really want to thank all the audience members for being here. All right, let's
Oh my god, how?
let's take a couple minutes of audience questions.
Lol. Oh my god. Holy shit, you're dumb. Holy shit. That's insane how dumb you are.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
Nine. Going mad.
So, thank you so much, but definitely thank you for being inspiration for the great work you've done in everything involved. Thank you very much.
I don't actually care.
So I spoke a little bit here. I think we're seeing involved in politics, so I wanted to ask analysts what responsibility, if any, do you have as content creators politics in your circles, and wherever it is?
No.
And do you think your students national issues on your streaming content are still evolving in politics? Certainly. Like, I do think that. In the end, we try our best, right, to highlight issues, say, the Ohio ballot referendum vote, right, that happened a few weeks ago, or other smaller special elections.
Oh my god. What happened?
For the most part, it is art.
And why did she give up? All she needed to do was build art seekers.
We have a national audience, and so we get complaints, for
Wow.
example, since we're in
Dumbass.
Brooklyn, we have focused a probably disproportionate amount on New York State politics compared